Hi, my name's Kevin. I'm from the UK, a place called Kent, which is between London and France in the south of the UK. So I've been living in Matsumoto for about 4.5 years now. I'd like to introduce you to a few places in Matsumoto today that I really like. So the first place we have here is called Ishii Miso, which translates as the courtroom and historical village. Thank you, and let's have a great day today. Here we are at the Matsumoto courtroom. So it's the only remaining wooden structure left in Japan. It was built in the Meiji era, so that's around 130 years ago. Originally the courtroom was in the city center, but it was moved out here a few years ago in great condition. So let's go and have a look inside. Okay, so here we are in a room that shows various weapons and restraining instruments for criminals and other wrongdoers. So most of these instruments are from the Edo Jidai, which is an era that preceded the Meiji Jidai, so 200-300 years ago or so. So here we have some ropes and hooks and so on. And over here we have a weapon which was used to defend against swords, so they would catch the sword blade in the hook there. Here we are inside the courtroom. So here we have the lawyer and the judge. So even though they're only dolls, I feel really tense. This is the juvenile prison. So young offenders were sent here to do their time. So let's have a look inside at the cell. So these cells were not just for one person. Around 3 people would sleep here. And you can see the toilet in the corner as well. So very cramped conditions. This is a silk factory. So it was in operation until May 1995. So this area around Matsumoto used to be a silk production center in Japan, and most of the workers were female. There were a few guys there who used to do the heavy lifting work. This machine pulls the silk threads. So if we follow the thread this way, and here these rotate and you get a nice long thread. This machine pulls the silk threads taut and keeps them taut. So it's a very important machine. This building's from the Edo Jidai, so about 150 years ago. So this is where the silk factory workers would stay while they were working at the silk factory. So the girls would come in from different areas in the countryside and sleep here. And this building housed about 100 women. So they were pretty cramped conditions in those days. Here we are inside the building. If we look in the center of the room here, we can see an iori, a fire pit, so where all the cooking was done and the heating too. This room here, as you can see, it's a little bit more luxurious, so people of a higher rank would stay here. Here we have an example of an old style refrigerator. So of course back in those days there was no electricity, so people would store the food under the floor, and this would keep cool all throughout the year. We're on the second floor here, so because 100 people slept in this building, there was not enough room on the first floor, so people would come here and sleep here too. Here we are at the Matsumoto Mingei-kan, the Folkcraft Museum. So this is a museum that houses hundreds of traditional handcrafted items from Matsumoto, other parts of Japan, and from countries all over the world, including Africa, Southeast Asia, Korea, China, Mexico, and so on. And it's all housed in a beautiful Edo period warehouse with a Japanese garden, as you can see. So let's go inside and take a look. So in this room we have some Japanese earthenware pots. So this is a moving chest of drawers. So it has wheels. You can move it along. So for our British friends, here we have an example of an old cooking pot from the UK. So we have 2 kimonos and a beautiful apron. So these were worn every day for work and daily life. Here we have lots of balls called temari in Japanese. So these are children's toys, and Matsumoto is famous for temari. So this is a tea chest where the tea utensils were stored. These guys are the 10 kings who judged the deceased. So they got very stern faces. Okay, these chests are called funadans. So funa is ship, tansu is chest. So they were used on ships. Here we have a traditional style Japanese room. So you can see the tatami mats. And here this is called a hibachi. So this is like a heater, and you can heat up food and tea on the hibachi. So this is Ishii Miso, a miso brewery that was founded in 1868, and they brew miso the traditional way. So the miso is brewed in wooden barrels. So in Japan, only about 1% of the miso is brewed in wooden barrels in this modern era. So this is a really beautiful place.
This company, Ishii Miso Brewery, has established in 1868.
Yeah, I see.
Soybean, rice malt, and salt.
Yes.
For Japanese, miso is used as a seasoning for miso soup. 900 miso manufacturer companies in Japan. So Shinshu Miso is the #1 miso brand today in Japan. The color is getting dark. The taste become my color of miso. To put it simple, short fermentation as well as much more rice comes white and sweet. Long fermentation as well as much more soybean comes dark color. Now let's go to the third year aging.
Okay.
And now we are in the third year aging miso storehouse of Ishii Miso. Different smell compared to second year aging miso storehouse. Completely fermented, matured and stronger. But in the fourth year of aging, the aroma gradually going down. So 3 years old miso is best on the top. The product produced in this company doesn't export at the moment. This is a soybean boiling vessel, old-fashioned one.
Yes.
I am a 6th generation. My father was a 5th generation. My father had used this old-fashioned vessel up to 1991. It takes 5 hours, 6 hours to boil.
Yeah.
But nowadays I use a pressure vessel. It takes 1 hour to boil.
Yeah, faster.
Much faster.
Yeah.
And also my grandfather and grandfather's father had used.
Miso soup. It looks delicious and smells delicious too. Delicious, rich aroma, but it's not overpowering. It's very smooth and subtle at the same time. So Ishii Miso has a restaurant too where you can try miso foods. So here we have a bowl of miso soup with daikon radish and some pork and some negi, green onions, and rice balls with miso flavor and miso flavored pickles too. So this is an example of the kind of lunch you can eat in the Ishii Miso restaurant. And here also we have a spice, shichimi I think it's called. So this is a very famous local hot spice. Itadakimasu. Delicious. So we just finished the tour of the Ishii Miso Brewery. Then we had a delicious lunch. We had a little look around the shop as well, where you can buy a lot of miso related products. So yeah, it was a wonderful experience, relaxing, cultural, historical. I think it's a great place to visit. Wonderful. Here we are at Kaichi Elementary School. So it was built in 1876 and it became a national treasure in 2019. So as you can see, it's a mixture of Western and Japanese style. So let's take a look inside. So most of the explanations are in Japanese. However, recently they have an English guide. So if you just go over the QR code, you can get a nice explanation in English. Here we have a door. You can see there's a dragon here. So this door was originally part of a temple, but during the Meiji Revolution, a lot of temples were destroyed to bring in the new era. So luckily, some of the temple doors and furniture and so on were rescued and used for other buildings. So here at Kaichi Elementary School, we have a great example of how a door was rescued from a temple and put to good use. We are in the school assembly room. So this is where the students would gather and the principal would talk to them. So you can see here a beautiful stained glass window, and over there it looks like a piano or organ of some kind, where the and the children would sing songs. Okay, we finished our tour of Kaichi Elementary School. So if you visit the castle, then it's really easy just to walk up to Kaichi Elementary School. Okay, so here we are at the main event, Matsumoto Castle. So it was built in 1594, and it's one of the few remaining original castles still here in Japan. So as you can see, it has 5 external stories, but inside there are actually 6 floors. It has a special hidden floor, so there's a lot of mysteries to this castle. And it has beautiful grounds, as you can see, and it's also flanked by the Northern Alps mountains too. It's a wonderful location, and I think everyone that comes to Matsumoto wants to see the castle. Okay, here we have a little like slit or window. So this is for defensive purposes. So people would fire a gun through this window at the oncoming enemy. Okay, here we can see something that's called a shachi. It translates as a killer whale. So it was a kind of guardian to protect the castle. So these are the original shachi that were placed on the castle roof, and it has the body of a fish and the head of a dragon or a lion. Here we have some examples of guns, sort of European design, but they were made in Japan and used in the later warring states period in battles all over the country. Here we have warriors' armor. So the samurai used to wear, or the top ranking samurai anyway, used to wear this armor. So this window is north facing. So if you look carefully, just in the distance there, you can see a building. That's the Kaichi Elementary School that we just visited earlier on today. Okay, we're on the 4th floor here. So this is where the Lord and Lady would stay. So you can see it's a little different from the other floors. So there's a wide open space here, and they're saying it was divided into 3 separate rooms. And there's a high ceiling and a little more light as well entering into this room, and also the wood. It's a little difficult to see on the video, but the wood has been planed more smoothly as well. So it just has a more luxurious, relaxing feeling to it. And also we have some bamboo blinds here as well, which again give a little more privacy. Okay, we made it out of Matsumoto Castle. Yeah, it's a wonderful experience to be in a castle that's 400 years old. Of course, it's had some repairs done to it, so it's not completely original, but it still retains that kind of old atmosphere to it. 100% worth coming to visit this castle and spend some time in here. So we've just walked from the castle about 10 minutes or so. We've arrived at a place called the Media Garden, which is a new building. So in this building they have various kinds of outdoor shops and coffee shops, and they also have the local Matsumoto Brewery, brew local craft beer. So you can drink inside, and they also have a terrace where you can sit outside, drink beer, and see a beautiful view of the town and Northern Alps mountains too. Here we are on the Media Garden Matsumoto Brewery Bar Terrace. So this is stout, it's called Castle Stout, Matsumoto Castle Stout. So this is my recommended beer, but they also have lagers and ales and British bitters too. So kanpai. Nice. So we've reached the end of our tour of Matsumoto today. We went to a lot of places. So we started off in the Rekishi no Sato, the court and the historic village. Then we went to the Mingeikan, the Folkcraft museum. And after that, we had lunch and a tour of the Ishii Miso Brewery. And after that, we went to Kaichi Elementary School. And then we stopped in the castle. And then we ended up here to round off the day at the local Matsumoto Brewery bar. So, as you can see, there's a lot of things to do here in Matsumoto, and there's many more places that we didn't have time to visit. So this is only giving you a kind of a basic idea of what you can do here in Matsumoto. Please come to Matsumoto and try these things out for yourself. You'll have a wonderful holiday for sure. Thank you. Bye bye.